Next, Laugh with It's Just Joe, then the new hit comedy Life with Bonnie, and later, a brand new Less Than Perfect, all on ABC.
So, this is strange. Before I get to the video, let me elaborate on where I've basically been for the past couple months. Basically, just a lot of schooling for the past couple months. This is the final months of my sophomore year. But thankfully, summer's in, and so am I. And in I am. As you could tell from my new channel layout and the mascot you're seeing right now, a new rebrand. Not only am I rebranding the design, but I'm taking my channel to a whole different direction. One that I really like. And after this video, if you have any suggestions on what I need to prove with this new change to my channel, then let me know. I'm genuinely interested and I want your feedback. Also, keep in note that I'm going to cover the TGIF 2003 to 2005 era on this video because this amazing YouTuber actually inspired me to do this direction of videos moving forward, with that being Media Mementos. Unfortunately, he has announced that this channel will become dead by the end of the year, which honestly really sucks, as over time, Media Mementos became one of my favorite channels, and I was always excited to see their deep dives into television and history. So I think of this new direction of my channel as a spiritual successor. So the links to his channel and the TGIF video will be in the description. Check them out, you won't regret it. I also want to give a shout out to TV Tropes, who gave me the majority of the info I have for this video, so I'll link to theirs in the description as well. Without further ado, let's get started.
All new ABC Tuesday, Bridget gives her sister an extremely bad makeover.
I look like Dolly Parton!
8 simple rules. Then on I'm With Her, Alex wants an Oscar, but her mom will take anyone.
Is that Jack Nicholson checking me out?
Plus, when Cheryl has to do an on-screen kiss, it brings out the jealousy in Jim.
He ran into my elbow!
Then there's only one cure for Lydia's demotion.
You get a limo at the back entrance, pack it with blankets and Asian manicurists. Stack!
Less Than Perfect, all new ABC Tuesday. Plus, an all-new Jimmy Kimmel Live ABC Late Night.
Yeah, what's good? It's just Joe here, back with another video, and today we're talking about ABC and its long frustrating history of mishandling live-action television shows. To start us off, let's look at one of the big examples, that being the Drew Carey Show. Holy fuck, ABC fucked this show over royally, but to be fair, it was not ABC's entire fault, as the show had been suffering around the final 2 seasons, as the final 2 seasons had a feeling of the writers running out of ideas and felt extremely abstract. On top of that, there's also the major departures of characters like Mr. Wick, Steve, and especially Kate. But man, oh man, ABC did not help matters during this period. To backtrack a bit, the show was actually a big ratings hit on its Wednesday schedule, with seasons 1 to 6 and an average rating of 13.4 million viewers. So ABC naturally renewed the show for 3 more seasons. Season 7 did receive a decline in ratings as it went from 37 in the ranks and 12.7 million viewers in Season 6 to 56 and 9.1 million viewers in Season 7, but still, it was largely good ratings. Then Season 8, ABC did a major fuck up in its scheduling, when in the fall of 2002, right around the time that Monday Night Football was returning for the season, they decided to move both the Drew Carey Show and Whose Line Is It Anyway to Monday nights, as either a lead-in if you live in the East and Central time zones, or a lead-out if you live in the Mountain or Pacific time zones to Monday Night Football. However, there was a major issue with that. See, to ensure that Monday Night Football would still air on primetime, they had to withhold the Drew Carey Show and Whose Line in the Western US. This naturally caused Season 8's ratings to plummet to rank 120 and only 5.2 million viewers. ABC did try to fix it by moving the show to Friday, starting with episode 7, but there was also a problem with that, as many people who know about TV networks know, the worst time to premiere a new anything in TV is Friday. and naturally the viewers didn't really switch over to Fridays with them, they just stopped watching altogether. It was so bad that after the 14th episode, ABC would take it off their Friday schedule or try to cancel it, but it ultimately stayed on because Warner Brothers Television threatened to file a lawsuit for breach of contract, since they still had to fulfill that last season in the 3-season renewal deal. They then proceed to move it back to Wednesdays while also burning off the remaining 12 episodes, with them airing 10 of those episodes back to back across 5 weeks. The funniest part about it is them burning off those episodes ended up backfiring as the show started to come back in the ratings from those episodes, with the season finale being the most watched of the season. But despite the viewership slowly coming back, ABC didn't want to proceed with the show, and so the final season ended being entirely burnt off by the summer 2004, on top of not premiering the season until June, meaning that we had no new episodes for over 9 months. Viewership continued to decline, even going to its lowest 3.1 million viewers with a rank of 150, before the show aired its last episode that September. Now that we got that out of the way, let's look at other examples, such as Ugly Betty. Its first 3 seasons would air on Thursday nights at 8 p.m., and the first 2 seasons saw decent viewership with 11.3 million viewers in Season 1 and 9.4 million in Season 2. However, Season 3 saw a bit of a decline in viewership, as that season saw only an 8 million viewers. ABC noticed that and got cold feet on the show and decided that the best way to fix that was to put it on the infamous Friday night dev slot at 9 p.m., with Flash Forward taking its place on Thursdays. Overnight, the viewership cut in half, going from 8 million to 5.5 million. It was so bad that ABC moved the show mid-season to Wednesdays at 10 p.m. alongside other comedy shows. And despite the fact that the ratings did somewhat improve, by then it was too late, as the show was cancelled with many of the plot points not really being explained during the finale. Then we have a case like Better Off Ted, which did see a big fan base around it, and despite having at the time pretty low ratings, with the pilot being a 3.6 rating, which back then was pretty low, with every episode seeing lower and lower viewership. But still, due to its very committed fan base, the show got a season 2, but they made sure to screw it as much as possible. First, they barely promoted the second season. They would start the season in December, which is considered extremely late for a returning show. They aired episodes during the holiday season, despite the fact that most viewers were conditioned to new episodes of the series being on break around the holidays. Then, when surprise surprise, the ratings were good, they then proceed to start burning off episodes 2 at a time, that's January, then canceled the show without its final 2 episodes even airing, since initially they wanted to hold off on the final 2 so they could be used as filler in the case that year's NBA Finals ended early. It didn't, and thus the final episodes never ended up airing. 2016 was not a good year for live-action shows on ABC, as due to a combination of Paul Lee getting replaced by Channing Dungey as the head of ABC, and Disney itself having an earnings miss in the second quarter of 2016, in large part from its video game and television departments, led to not only essentially all of these connected shows being cancelled, but also the shows that were in the process of being renewed despite only having average ratings getting cancelled so they can recoup losses. The biggest targets of this were The Muppets, Agent Carter, Nashville, Gallivant, and Castle. Although in the case of Gallivant and The Muppets, they were screwed before this, as in the case of Gallivant, there was barely any advertising for the show, and was in the same time slot as the Oscars during award show season. And in the case of The Muppets, it's a bit more complicated, as the show was initially strongly promoted and did good in the ratings despite the reception being very mixed. It was also scheduled on Tuesday nights against the likes of NCIS and The Voice. However, due to the mixed reception the show had, the show underwent a retooling, as co-creator Bob Kershaw was let go and replaced by Kristen Newman, and despite that the Newman era of the show was actually received better than the Kershaw era, ABC decided to stop promoting the show to focus its attention on The Real O'Neills, which was quickly cancelled after 1 season, and as a result of that, ratings plummeted and the show got canned. There's also the situation behind Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., where it was put in direct competition with NCIS, and its schedule being super erratic, on top of also its second half being scheduled around the Winter Olympics. Episodes would be shown before then being put on major holds for weeks at a time. For example, Tracks being the only episode to air that February with 3-week holds before and after the episode aired. This did not help the ratings, and it was so bad that one of Marvel's announcements at the time was that the final batch of season 1 episodes would be aired without any major holdups. That's your big announcement? The show was renewed for a second season, and they did fix the major problems, as not only would they put the second season an hour before NCIS, but also made sure to have 2 uninterrupted batches of only an 8-week winter hiatus. They then screwed up once more by season 4 by having only 2 episodes showing the entirety of November. But that's merely an isolated incident. Hi, Editor Joe here. If my voice sounds different in this part, it's because for some reason my software didn't record this part specifically in the post. We'll get back to younger me, aka a couple hours me, in a little bit, but before that, let me go through it. The show Last Man Standing started off with great viewership in its Tuesday night slot at 12.93 million viewers in its premiere. However, the ratings declined by the end of the first season to around 6 million viewers, which was fine but nothing to write home about. As a result of that, ABC decided to move the show to the Friday night def slot for season 2. However, in a move that nobody saw coming, the viewership actually improved from 6 million to 8 million viewers, which resulted in the network ordering more episodes for the season, and later it was renewed for a third season. Then the ratings just kept going up and up, to the point where around season 6 it started going head to head with Modern Family for the most viewership of ABC's scripted shows. Even when the show was never advertised well, the show still gained popularity. But then, just out of nowhere, the show was cancelled after season 6. There was no warning or grand finale. One day it was just confirmed to be cancelled. But why though? If it had gained so much popularity and pulled great ratings, why was given the axe all of a sudden? While ABC claims it was because they wanted to revive TGIF, and before you ask, yes, they did again back in 2018 to 2019, and yes, it was also a failure. And apparently there was not any room for Last Man Standing on any other night, although the most likely explanation behind the cancellation was that the show was owned by 20th Century Fox, which received all the syndication money while ABC only received ad revenue. This is an all too common practice with networks, which was allegedly the same reason as to why George Lopez was cancelled, although George Lopez was also too expensive to produce at that point. There's also a third theory behind it that Tim Allett seemingly thinks is the reason, and that is that ABC cancelled it because the show was leaning towards conservatives and didn't fit the liberal leading shows like Modern Family and Blackish. Political discussion is not needed in my comment section right now, please and thank you. What is strange about it is that there are others like Blackish showrunner Kanye Barris who claim the opposite, as he quit the show because the network was censoring their anti-Trump stance to appease the middle America demographic. On top of that, they revived Roseanne around the same time as the cancellation. And with Roseanne being very outspoken about her stance when it comes to politics, as well, other things, it does send mixed signals. Either way, the show was revived by Fox in 2018, with the show lasting until 2021. And the last show that I'm going to be discussing in today's video is Step by Step. Step by Step was fucked over royally thanks to the Disney buyout of ABC in 1996. Well, it didn't help the fact that Sasha Mitchell left the show after season 5 after some domestic violence allegations. Despite being a major staple of the TGIF block since its debut, for some reason they did not put Step by Step anywhere in during the fall of 1996. The original plan for the future of the show was to simply burn off season 6 alongside Hanging with Mr. Cooper on Saturdays, while Sabrina the Teenage Witch and Clueless would take over the Friday slot. However, due to Clueless TV show being such a failure, they brought Step by Step back in the time slot in March of 97. However, by that point, CBS had purchased both Step by Step and Family Matters away from ABC for its own Friday block, forcing to burn off the remainder of the season in lightning time. Step by Step would be placed at 9:30 and continue to air new episodes through August, but at that point, people stopped watching, not helping by the fact that the show was so out of order at that point. This sadly followed them through the CBS era, as CBS also tried to bury them by putting them at the 9:30 slot until the new show flopped badly. And at that point, it was way too late, as both Step by Step and Family Matters were gone by February of 1998, with the remaining episodes being burnt off during the summer. And that, my friends, is the time when ABC screwed over live action shows. Thank you all for watching. Give me your suggestions on what topics I should cover next, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye! Also, real quick, if anyone's listening to this right now, please also like and subscribe. I'm trying to hit 1,000. Please, I just want to hit 1,000 before the end of summer. Thank you. All right, I'm gonna show myself out now.